How's it going, everybody? Nick Daniels here. Yet again, we're doing a bit of a rant video here in the car, in the parking lot. No big deal. So I want to talk about why I think a lot of graduates don't get jobs. I think it's pretty evident, but I mean, I'm gonna call it like it is here, which I like to do on the channel. I think it's basically just motivation is the biggest problem. A lot of people kind of expect things to be kind of handed to them. And when they face these decisions, for example, okay, we've got you a job opportunity, you're gonna have to move 6 hours, 6 hours away, okay? Chances are you're probably not coming home too many times. And that's one of the biggest things, is that people they don't want to move, right? They want to stay in that area. They know people there. Out of like 8 billion people or whatever we're at on the total population of the world, there is a very sliver of an amount that even know me or give a fuck about who I am, right? Let's call it like it is. So in my opinion, moving isn't a big deal because you'll naturally meet people wherever the hell you go. But a lot of people, like one of their things about that is that, oh, you know, my family's here, my relatives are here, my parents are here, my girlfriend's here, you know. It's like, okay, well, I don't have any of that tying me down, so I can go. But I think that's the biggest thing, right, when it comes to motivation, is you have to be adapting to change. And when you pay X, you know, you pay X for school, whatever X may be, right, and A is where you gotta go, whether it be you could stay at home or you gotta move somewhere else or whatever. X and A should be the top priority, and you should say, you know, okay, I've paid $8,100 or $20,000 for a year of university or whatever, and you know, I've done my dues. Now it's time to get that money back and make something out of it, right? I did this for a reason. So if they're telling me I gotta move to Moncton, or I gotta move to, like somewhere in the States or Ontario, like obviously I'm talking from Canada's perspective, like you basically just got to transfer to a whole different city. It shouldn't be like, fuck, I can't do that. It should be, no, this is what I need to do, right? And sometimes you go out there and you get that experience for the first couple years, and then you can move back to the area you're at and get the job that you really wanted in the first place, but maybe required some years of experience. So you kind of have to look at it that way. Another good, obviously, analogy you've probably heard or saying before is you got to spend money to make money. And I definitely believe that. You got to spend money to go to college and university to now come out on the other side making more money that you would if that you just stuck with like a part-time job, got full-time, maybe management, yeah, and you make more money and you're happier and whatever, doing what you're doing that way. And that's always been my philosophy of it. You know, I work at a job where I don't feel like I'm respected. I mean, I have two jobs. One I feel respected and one I don't. And if you know me, it's evident of which one I'm talking about. I don't feel like I'm respected as an employee. I honestly just feel kind of like an employee number. I come in, 409913 reporting for duty, I do my shit and I go home. That's it, right? I'm a number. You know, your opinion isn't really validated. There's no appraisal, no like, hey, good job, man. You know, none of that. Great communication. You know, which I honestly, I think is the core fundamental for an employee, is having recognition and respect, which goes both ways. I've said this 100 times before, and so was my old store manager when he kept telling me that I was in the wrong. I was like, yeah, no worries, we're just gonna get someone fucking sick here, boys. Point of the story is an employee needs to respect a manager or the boss, for example, and the boss needs to be able to respect the employee. And when you have that trust, then you have something there. You have now employee who's happy, and you have now manager who is happy and who has a happy employee. A happy employee is a more productive employee. And I know we're kind of veering off the school thing, but we'll come back to it in a second. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say there is that's the message, right? And an employee who's disgruntled and not happy and nobody remedies the situation will continue to be like that and basically just infects other people. And, you know, I kind of feel like that's where I'm at, and that's what I already work with anyway. And there's a lot of negativity there, so it just kind of eventually fluctuated, and I picked up on it. I can thankfully say I've got less than a year. I say that because people have asked why, like, why I don't leave. If you're not happy, maybe you should leave. Go work somewhere else. I've said this analogy a few times, that a $20 bill could be worth more than a 10. It's just how you spend it, right? Just because 10 is obviously $10 less, but you might be able to get more out of the $10 bill than you can the 20. And it's for the same example that I could go apply to a minimum wage job at 11 bucks an hour, and I might be happier than where I'm at Sobeys, where I make $14.10, I think, an hour. Yeah, it's Sobeys. But that's the idea. That's the reason I haven't left, because it is $14.10. You know, that's actually pretty promising. One second, just someone walking here. They're not even paying attention. Like 20 feet away from me. It's gonna be really quiet. Alright, we're good. Anyway, they got earphones in. But anyway, like I was saying, and at the end of the day, that's why I've gone to school, is I want to better myself, and I realize that, you know, making $14.10 an hour obviously isn't horrible, but it's $14 an hour, and I'm worth more than $14 an hour, and, you know, I'm trying to apply myself a lot to my work, which is still hard because I'm dealing with a lot of medical issues right now, and, which I've said before, but once those are hopefully cleared up, no promises, but if they're cleared up, and if they are, when they are, really going to do some more studying, and I think that's also the way to do it, is back onto the college thing, or university, or both, or whatever. You keep staring there, but back onto that. The biggest thing also is that a lot of people, when the summer comes, and you can't blame them, basically, in pardon the language, they just kind of fuck off, right? And that's it. They take the summer, you know, they go work a part-time job for the summer, you know, and they work like 20 hours a week for a little extra money. Well, I'm working 61 and a half come next week, and that's going to be like pretty much straight through, as far as I can tell. I'm going to do that for pretty much most of the summer. I'm going to take the odd like Saturday or Sunday off, so the odd 8 hours, but it'll pretty much be around 60 hours a week. And on my spare time, so the nights I'm off or whatever, I'm actually reading an HTML textbook, still kind of practicing a bit on Python, so like coding, and watching videos talking about like CompTIA security. And that's the thing, when I'm taking IT, so, you know, information technology, you know, there's no reason to stop. And I think that's another reason that some people don't get jobs, is they just stop. They don't try to better that education. I find a lot of times you go to NSCC or university or whatever, they give you a great foundation, like somewhere really good to start. And then from there, you have to put the work in. And I've talked to a few people in the industry that, you know, or, you know, have businesses and whatever, or, you know, employees that make decent wages or salaries, and they've all basically said that you never stop learning, right? There's always something new coming out, and especially with computers, it ain't slowing down. And it's mind-boggling to me. Like, I know this guy took a paramedic course, and he waited so long that I think once you're out for so long, you have to like redo a test. And that's it, right? Like, he wasted his opportunity, and now he's, you know, working on the garbage trucks, and, you know, and he's content with that, and that's awesome. But I've told him, like, that's not something I would do. I would not pay that money and then, you know, just, again, fuck off. I would put my money where my mouth is, and I would do it. I would say, okay, that's what I'm going with. I don't even care if I like the program. I paid the money. That's what I'm going with. There's no options. There's no, I'm going to think about it and switch it up. No. It's like, literally, this is what I've paid $8,100 for. That's what I'm sticking with. No matter how much I might hate it. That's what I'm doing. And I like it, actually, so thank God. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up there. So just in a quick summary, we talked about employees being disgruntled, and like recognition, how that'd be great, and college and university students kind of lacking the motivation. And what I think ultimately comes down was the biggest decision is people are just unwilling to relocate, and they also don't want to better themselves after the education. Like, they think that's kind of all they needed, and I don't really think that's the case. So thank you so much for watching. If you ever want me to talk about something, leave it down below. I mean, I read every comment, so whether it be good or bad, or I don't know, just some fucking spam, I mean, I read it all. But yeah, let me know if you guys want me to talk about anything, and I'll totally jump on that like fucking white on rice, boys. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. We're gonna have to see you in the next video. Peace.